Okay guys, so in the previous video we saw how we can create an object, convert it into JSON using Stringify, and then convert it back into an object using parse. So let me give you just a quick example again, and then we'll create our first JSON file. So let's just go down here and let's create a family array of objects. Let's call this family and we'll assign it to an array. And within here, we'll create a few objects. It's called first key value pair of name and the value of Norbert. And also let's give this a age of 34. It doesn't matter. You can, as always, create and give any kind of name and age you want. So let's create 4 more, and this would be Laura, and she will be 30, then Arabella, and she will be 12, and then Karina, and she will be only 10, 110. Ooh, she's the oldest then. Okay, so we have our family we created, and let me actually comment everything out that we created up here. So we only have our family array of objects. Now let's just quickly exercise how can we select things out of this. So console log our family, and there we go. We have an array of objects. Now let's grab onto the first one, go in here and select the first one using 0, and then we can select, for example, dot name or dot age, and now we can go through them. Let's select the third one with 2, which was Arabella. She's 12 years old, and let's select the name again, and there we go, we have Arabella. Okay, now let's convert this into a string. So let's say family is equal to JSON.stringify. Okay, and within here we'll type in the object of family again. Now when we're going to console log again our family, we will have a string instead of an object. Now let's create our first JSON file. So let's go into our folder structure here and let's get a new file. Let's call it family. Now .json. You can see the icon here changes into a JSON icon. Okay, let's go in here, and I'm going to go into an app and copy this. So actually from here to here. There we go. Let's go in here. And as you can see, we already get an error. This is because, as I said previously, so let's go up here. Actually, it's already gone. Don't worry, a JSON file, as you can see, also here, the curly brackets is between curly brackets. Okay, so we need to pack this in. Delete this. And now instead of the equals, we'll need this and also pack this into double quotes. Okay, so there's our JSON data. Within curly braces, we will have a key with the value of, which will have these values. Okay, and within this, we will now have key value pairs. Now, what can we do with it? Well, I have here a unordered list with the ID of family. Let's go into our app and let's say we want to grab onto this. I'm just going to create a const and gonna call this family tree. I'm going to grab on from the document using query selector Or let me use get element by ID so you don't get confused. So get element by ID, and I'm going to grab onto the ID of family. Okay, so we just grabbed onto the UL. Let's quickly go console log this. Family tree. Okay, so there's our UL. And we don't need this anymore. Now I'm going to create another variable. I'm going to call it let output equal to a empty string. Okay, so I'm just going to create it and initialize it and assign it to an empty string. Now I'm going to use a for loop, and I'm going to loop through. So let, as long as I is equal to 0, and as long as I.family, so our family up here, I'm going to comment this back in. Unexpected token, because I'm not finished with our loop. So as long as I.family is less than family dot length at 65. Okay, we're still not finished with it. And we'll iterate I++. Now we're going to grab onto the output and we're going to assign each one, so plus and equal. Now let me use a template string. I'm going to create a li and within here we're going to use our family. I'm going to iterate through each one of them, and then we're going to take the name and then the age. Actually, we need to go outside of this. So name and then also the age. And we're going to close up our li. Okay, so this is going to loop through our family here, and for each name and for each age, it's going to create a li. So in each li, a family name and age will be created. We actually will be looped through. Now, in order to output it, because if we console log, well, let's console log our family here, we know that we will get our string, actually our array. So in order to output it here, we need to now convert it back into an object. And for this, we're going to go and say family tree, which we have it here, dot inner HTML is equal to output and I forgot to parse it, haha. So family, not family tree, but family is equal to JSON dot parse. I'm going to parse our family again. Actually, I should do this up here before the for loop. Okay, so there it is. And let me also say Norbert age. That's actually good. Now, in order for us to get this family JSON outputted, we need to use something that we didn't learn right now, and we will learn about this later on when we learn about asynchronous programming. It's an XHTTP request. So I'm going to create exactly the same result, but this time let me comment this out. We're going to use a XML HTTP request. Okay, and this is a method. Now I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but just so you know, we can use this, and I'm just going to use this in order to show you how to get this JSON file and output it in our HTML. So we're going to use data to output in our web browser. So let me create here a variable. Let's just call it X HTTP. I'm going to assign it to new XML HTTP request, which is a method. With this method, objects are used to interact with the server. Now, the constructor here initializes a XML HTTP request, and it must be called before any other method is called. So I'm going to take this variable that I created, and now we're going to use a few things which you will not understand, but don't worry about it. As I said, our objective here is to use our JSON file. Okay, so on ready, we're going to assign it to a function. And now if I'm going to use this keyword now, ready state, and a ready state is 4, and this dot status is equal to 200, then I'm going to create a new const for the response, and we're going to use json.parse, and we want to parse our HTTP dot response text. Okay, now I know this will be a bit confusing, but as I said, don't worry about it. This is just to show you how this is just for showing purposes in order to get our JSON file. Okay, so let's grab onto the const of family again, and we're going to also assign this to response dot family. Now we just need to grab onto what we created up here, and actually let's comment it back in. Whoa, this didn't work. There we go. And I also need to grab on to my family here. This I don't need this, just need this, and I need to assign it to inner HTML, and here assign it to the output. Now all we need to do is tell it then that our variable xHTTP is onOpen, and we create a get request. So get to get the data from the family. So for this file, family, not tree, family.json, and there should also be a string, and the response should be true. Okay, and now we need to send this. So xHTTP dot send This is also a method. And I did something wrong. Token JSON at position 1. What? Expected error. Position 80. I should don't need this. And there we go. Now we have it. So we're getting exactly the same results, but this time I'm getting it from my JSON file. So let's take a look. If I would change this to, let's say, 50, I hit save, you can see this is changing here. I would change this to 25. This will also change. I've changed the name to Bernard. Then this is also working. Okay guys, so I hope you understand JSON. As I said, we are going to get more deeper into this and using data and also using requests. But I just wanted to show you this before we get into local storage and inner storage, local storage and section storage. And we're also going to have a project a bit later on. We're going to store a few users. So yeah, fun times ahead. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.